What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Popcorn Punchups, episode 14. Because it's episode 14, we decided that it's a bonus week. Instead of punishment, it's a bonus week. So there's two things are out that we are super keen for. Lawson has a thing about avoiding death and just his final destination. So he's all about his bloodlines.
Yep.
It wasn't my best. No, that
was horrible. You just said words.
It's fine.
It's
fine. And then I've got my crane kick in the newest Karate Kid Legends, which is bringing back Ralph Macchio and also Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
So the universes collide.
Yep.
So let's go. All right. So what's been happening this week?
Oh, don't even bother. It's been a fucking week. I'm exhausted. The end. I've done fucking nothing fun to talk about on pod. I've just been working my ass off.
Right. Same. So I've just got all the sports happening now. Kicked off this week. Yep. We had 2 games today, and we got 2 games tomorrow, and then we had a game Wednesday, and then we had training Monday, Tuesday, Friday. Yep. So Thursday was my only night off.
Yeah, that's fucked.
Sickos. But Crystal Palace play in the FA Cup final against Man City tonight. So
that's cool.
Keen.
There you go. I didn't know that.
Pretty keen for them to win. Yeah. So if they win, this is like their first major trophy in a very, very long time. God, I hope we beat Man City.
Who did they beat to get into the final?
Who was it? Aston Villa.
Okay.
Pretty sure. And they were in good form this season. So it was surprisingly Nottingham Forest. Yeah, they came out of nowhere and they were like second for quite some time.
There you go.
And Dortmund have somehow turned it around and might actually look like they'll finish 5th because they were sitting like 7th and 8th for quite some time.
Right.
Hopefully they can claw back into the Champions League because that'll be sad if they're not.
I'll be honest, looking at Crystal Palace's journey to the final, it's not been overly tough games.
And?
I mean, Millwall, Fulham, Aston Villa.
Yeah.
But Nottingham Forest, which is surprising.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Bournemouth. Yeah, wow, what a weird FA Cup. That's the beauty of FA Cup, though.
FA Cup's wild, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Fulham beat Man United, so, can't shit on them too much.
I mean, Man United are just a joke of a team at the minute. Like, it's insane how badly managed they are. Just the amount of, like, ego and money they've thrown at it, but they just can't pull the team together. Look at, like, Rashford, who was, like, one of their star players, star recruits, and now he's just they've put him out on loan, or pretty sure it's loan. I don't think they sold him. But now
16th?
He's actually doing really well. Yeah, like...
I haven't kept track. Oh, look at that. Okay, I stand corrected. Aston Villa are 5th. Like, I can't shit on them. My bad.
That's what I was saying. They were doing really well.
Yeah.
And Nottingham Forest is pretty high at the minute.
7th, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, like, first half of the season, they were, like, real high. They were, like, second.
I love seeing Newcastle do well. I remember the time when Newcastle got relegated,
yeah, and then they got bought by, like, an oil merchant, and he's just rebuilding the club. I can't get my head around the salary cap. I just can't understand it.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Like, it blows my mind that all these top teams can just continually throw money at all these players, where the smaller clubs, they just can't. Like, I don't understand how there's fair equity in anywhere.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I've never really understood it, to be honest.
No. I don't think the league understands it, because they were like, Chelsea, you spent too much money, and now Man City, they were like, you guys spent too much money, and then they were like, oh, nah, but you guys are okay. We're not going to strip your points or do anything. Okay. Weird. I don't get it.
Damn, Liverpool's tearing up. That's annoying.
Liverpool already won it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like 15 points ahead.
Yeah. Disappointing.
Yeah, we had Liverpool. Liverpool suck.
Yeah. I was hoping Arsenal would be able to not bottle it, but they bottled it.
I dislike Arsenal as well. I dislike Liverpool more, but I dislike Arsenal too.
Oh, really? I like Arsenal because they're like the Crystal Palace if they had money. they just bottle it. They've got quite a lot of talent, but they just bottle it.
Right.
And I like them. I like them a lot. So yeah, it's fun times. But not much movie news has sort of happened, but there is a new Superman trailer that came out, which actually looks pretty cool. I'm pretty keen to see how they go with it. I wasn't quite expecting it, how they're going to go about it, where they've got like, it felt like a Spider-Man 2 like esque, where he sort of is battling with his identity, and like the people were kind of like, is he a good guy, is he a bad guy, can we help him? Like,
that's so fair. I think they need something, because Superman just feels too like larger than life. I think they need something to sort of ground him a little bit and have some sort of story that the people can connect with. Yeah,
because he's pretty much invincible. Yeah. But in the comics, they do it right to make him like struggle against even stronger, more invincible people. But in
comics have more time.
True. So yeah, not much has really come out over this week.
There you go.
So, but I think next week, Lilo and Stitch gets released. I think it's just that's like June 9th, isn't it? Or June 9th.
Right.
Getting my days confused here. But yeah.
I heard that, just a tiny bit of movie news, that the Hurry Up Tomorrow, which is the new, The Weeknd, the artist. He did a movie with Jenna Ortega, and I've heard it is fucking awful. Its Rotten Tomato score is like 1 and something or other like that. I'll look it up. Hurry Up Tomorrow.
That's going to hurt. Hurry up for The Weeknd. I wouldn't expect The Weeknd to be in a movie.
I heard it's just a really like dull movie. Nothing fucking happens.
Right.
Why can't I find there we go.
Jenna Ortega is in like everything currently.
It's like her work 14 currently on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah.
What would Jenna Ortega's like movie schedule releases be? Like she was in.
She pumps out movies.
Death of the Unicorn.
Yep.
That one.
Doing a Wednesday sequel, like the follow-up show. The new Scream. She was in. Obviously, Beetlejuice sequel.
Just working. I mean, good on her. Like, if you're one of the, I don't know, big names of Hollywood, like you gotta smash it out, surely, don't you? Like,
she was in 3 movies last year and 2 shorts, and this year so far she's been in 2 movies, 1 short, or 1 music video. She's got Clara and the Sun coming out, as well as the Wednesday show.
Yeah. And then a untitled J.J. Abrams project.
Whatever that is. And something called The Gallerist, but they don't even say what year they are yet. But yeah, she's in lots. But good on her.
Gotta cash in while you can.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Ooh. Yeah. All right. Let's get into not our final destination, but the final destination is kicking it off. We really should have done that last.
Our final destination today is Karate Kid, but our first destination is Final Destination.
we should have changed that.
No, that's great. That's even funnier.
There's missed opportunity.
No, I think it's funnier without it.
All
right. So my pick this week was the Final Destination Bloodlines. It is the 6th movie in the Final Destination franchise. As all of them, it is about death. It's about people dying in really interesting ways. The movie... Go on.
Number five is technically the first one if you're going to do it story-wise, apparently. Number 5 is where it kicks off, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, Bloodlines.
I don't think that's right.
I think it is.
I'll look it up. Final Destination movie timeline.
Yeah. like not release timeline, but like
chronological.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure 5 is the first one.
Correct. 5, then Final Destination, then 2, 3, and then The Final Destination, and then Bloodlines. Yep, my bad.
Oh. Yeah, I got you.
Oh, that's right, because 5 sets up the plane at the end. The plane from the first movie. Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. It's been a long time. So, fair. I'm happy to be staying corrected.
I'm on the finals.
You're on the finals. So you keep calling it destinations. you keep putting
there's many of them.
No, but death is the final destination. That's the point.
Yeah, but there's all right, whatever. There's multiple
there are.
ones.
And the 4th one was called The Final Destination, which means they obviously meant to make that the last one. And then it was the last one in chronological order, and then this one came out. Anyway, who fucking cares?
Whatever.
So this movie sets up a sort of prequel universe and a post sort of sequel universe. It starts in I think the late 1960s. There's this young woman and her partner going out to dinner in the Skyview Tower, which is like a fucking spinning restaurant, or not a spinning restaurant, but like a restaurant in the top of some tower, like the Seattle Needle and that sort of shit.
Spinning restaurants suck, by the way.
Yeah, I've been to the one in our home like 15 years ago, and it sucked. You would hate it.
So overrated. Yeah, we went, and I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah. I was taking my girlfriend there when I was like a teenager, and we're like, what the fuck is this? I'd rather be at Macca's. Anyway, so her name is Iris. She and her partner are going to this restaurant for a dinner. It's like the grand opening. She, unbeknownst to him, is pregnant, and unbeknownst to her, he is proposing that night. They go up on the top, and there's this fucking brat kid who's like pretending to be all nice and whatever, but he's a little fuckwit. And he's throwing coins off the top, and he steals a coin out of the fountain, and they're like, "Oh, don't take coins out of fountains; it's bad luck," which is sort of foreshadowing. The coin is like a recurring thing, which we'll get to. So then she has everything goes to shit. The whole place blows up. The floor breaks out from underneath them, like the glass floor. The walls crumble for some reason. There's an explosion, whatever. The whole place explodes. Every single person in the place dies. And then it cuts to present day. And it's a woman or a girl. You know what? Fuck, she's a woman. She's nearly 30 and she's trying to play a college actor, or college girl, sorry. Caitlin Center, Juana, Stephanie in the show.
Yeah, but we had Tobey Maguire playing a high school kid, mate, as Peter Parker.
I don't know. Just fucking cast people the right age. She looks like she's old enough to be her brother's mum. Anyway, she wakes up screaming during the night. She had a bad dream. The dream was this 1960s thing about a woman called Iris. My grandmother's name's Iris, and it's weird and blah blah blah. And her roommate's like, "Oh, you need to go fucking visit your mum, visit your family."
Do you reckon it's really on the nose that her name's Iris and she can see it coming?
Sure. If you want to get dumb, probably. You know what? For how silly Final Destination is, probably. I'm okay with it.
It's like if I was writing it.
Yeah, legit.
It's on the nose.
Iris.
Yeah.
So yeah, she goes visit her family.
Have that joke.
If someone actually made that joke, but partway through, fuck the way I would roll my Iris.
Ooh.
Anyway,
only one.
Just one, just a singular Iris.
That'd be pretty impressive, by the way.
I'd be really impressed if that's a talent for sure. Just roll one Iris.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
She goes and visits her family. Her family's like, "Don't talk about grandma. Grandma's crazy. She went nuts about death. She wrapped us up in bubble wrap as kids. We won't talk to her. Whatever." So then she goes and talks to her and visits some Mad Max fucking weird ass house out in the boonies. And Iris is there like, "Oh, I'm fucking escaping death the past 35 years or whatever the fuck she says." and she's like batshit, but living this solitary life and somehow avoiding death, even though she was meant to die ages ago.
I also don't understand how she pays her bills or like food or whatever.
She doesn't. She's magic.
Don't ask questions.
Yeah, it's one of those movies. I mean, look, it's Final Destination. You don't ask questions. And she gives, the Iris gives the granddaughter Stephanie like a book, and it's just the ramblings of a madman. The book has just got like drawings of everything, and drawings of a plane, and drawings of a fucking barbecue grill, and all this random shit in there. And somehow Stephanie later in the movie starts to connect all the dots and starts to predict the fucking deaths based on this book of rambling that Iris has been writing in for the past 50 years, whatever the fuck. Iris dies in a pretty cool way, which I think like a fucking sundial thing goes through her head. Was that what happens, or something else goes through her head? Doesn't matter. Fucking sprays Stephanie with blood. She goes back to the house, or back to her place, looking shit up and whatever, and she's like, oh, I'll get to the family. The family's having a barbecue, and there's a chain of events, and grandpa, or her uncle dies. So then uncle dies, and the whole family's like, oh, this is all bullshit, whatever. And then the next person dies, and they're like, wait, maybe this is real. Oh yeah, that's right. She says the next person who's going to die is Eric, who's like, he's got tattoos and piercings, and he's all like Richard Harmon, who we know from The 100. Yeah, he's probably your favorite actor in this, or favorite like character in this. So we told he's next to die based on the prediction of the timeline or whatever. He's at work. We see the trailer where he's getting his like pulled up by his septum ring, the whole thing. And the twist in that scene is that he doesn't actually die, unlike the trailer, which was pretty clever because the trailer sort of showed us his death, but then it wasn't his death, which I thought was pretty well done.
Yeah, it was kind of like, oh, it was a dream.
No, it wasn't a dream. He he escaped. Did you watch the fucking movie?
Yeah, I did.
His leather jacket saved him from the fire. Is what he was told, and he survived the fire. There was no dreaming. You didn't watch the fucking movie.
I did watch the movie.
Well, obviously not.
Oh, all right. I watched it earlier in the week, mate. It's been a while.
Yeah, I watched it last night. Not even 24 hours ago.
Ooh.
So,
because he doesn't believe, and he puts himself in harm's way often.
And then Julia is like out on the street and whatever, and she's the one who gets knocked into a bin and thrown in a garbage compactor in the back of a garbage truck, and gets crushed. Her head gets crushed by the garbage truck, but only like the bottom half. So it's all like, it's a cool death. It's one of my favorites.
I gotta say, they're pretty creative with their deaths.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, I'll get to them as well.
Even their like bait and switches. Like there was when they're at the barbecue and the glass was in the ice. I'm like, they're just gonna drink the glass, or someone's gonna stab it, and then it was like, that's not how it went.
Yeah. And that's what our Destination does well. Is like, it's these fucking, what's the Rube Goldberg machines where it's like this happens and this happens and this happens. It's like a chain reaction to let something happen in the end. I like the deaths in Final Destination. I love rewatching them to just watch those moments. And I think, they do sort of subvert expectations sometimes. You think it's going to happen and this happens instead. They've done a few times.
The whole Bloodline thing I was like...
Oh no, that's where it's weakest. Anyway, I want to finish the plot. So they go and find JD or William John Bloodworth, who is Tony Todd. This is his last movie before he passed away as well. And he's been in the other Destination movies. And they go and see him, and he's like, well, you can't cheat death, but if you kill someone else, you'll take their time, which I think is introduced in Destination 3 or 5, I forget. But in one of the other Destination movies, they say the same thing. If you kill someone, you take their time. Or you can die and be brought back to life, which they also do in another movie. I forget which one exactly, but it doesn't matter. So he tells them that, and they're like, well, this guy's allergic to peanuts, so we'll go to hospital, because they're going there anyway. And when we go to hospital, we will give you some peanuts, you'll die, the hospital will bring you back to life, things will work out, it's all good. But JB also tells the group that if you fuck with death, death fucks with you. So that's when Eric dies. He gets like, he's like over the top of an MRI machine, like a circle, or like in front of it, in a fucking wheelchair, like he's getting sucked in by the high magnets, and which again, super unbelievable and stupid, but who cares? It's FD.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2 people die. Then all that's left is Stephanie, her brother Charlie, and their mum, Darlene. And they go, well, let's go somewhere safe. And they go out to fucking Crazy Iris's house in the boonies. And they get there. Darlene dies in the explosion. There's an explosion for some reason. Stephanie dies by drowning in the caravan. And Charlie saves her life, brings her back to life. So they're like, well, we've cheated death. Hooray, the end. Then cuts down the road in the future. It's Charlie Reyes, or Charlie's fucking prom. And they're talking to some like physician guy. I think it's his prom date's dad or something. And like, oh, this is my sister, the person whose life I saved. And like, oh, well, yeah, you saved her life. But she's like, oh, technically I died. And he's like, well, you didn't die. Like, we were unconscious. But if you died, you wouldn't be brought back with just, you know, like the way you were or whatever he says. I'm like, wait, we didn't die. And then another coin gets stuck in a train track and the train derails, which happens in, I think, in FD3. And fucking logs shoot over the top and crush them like at the end of, well, in the premonition of FD2. And then all the characters die just like they do in all the FDs. So it's the same formula, which is a running theme this week, which we'll get to in the next movie.
Isn't it?
But it's the formula I like. It was comfortable. It's what I wanted it to be. The deaths were great. I wrote like a list of my favorites, but anyway, where are you at?
With it, I think the storyline was real average. Like, I didn't care about going back in time and then like the whole bloodline.
Yeah, I didn't mind that, but the family stuff was fucking boring.
Yeah, like I kind of just want these people just to be somehow, I don't know, they escape death and then death is after them for whatever reason. Like, I would have been fine with that. Like, I watch these films just to see these people attempt to cheat death and die for whatever reason. Like, I don't really need a big explanation about it. So it's like, the deaths are really cool. It's really creative. And yeah, I did enjoy it, but I thought the storyline and the plot was like,
I 100% agree.
Particularly care.
In that way, it was reminiscent of like 3, 4, and 5, where I didn't give a shit about anything except the deaths. But I also found like where I gave, 3, 4, and 5, I'd like them less than 1 and 2. But I think what this does better is like the deaths and sort of like the mechanism of death, not just, person gets run over or whatever. The mechanism of death is really interesting in this one. And I loved every death scene. I was super into it and like, oh, what's going to happen next? And trying to like piece things together myself before things happen. I haven't had that since I think FD2.
Yeah, because like, I liked how they baited you with like, this person's going to die this way. And then they didn't. I was like, that's kind of cool. Yeah. And even the fact that you thought the older brother, Eric, was going to die at, a certain point, and then it turns out that he's not part of the bloodline. He's adopted and all that.
He's like born out of wedlock. So his sister dies, and you're like, oh, she's not going to die because it's his turn next. But then you find out later why she died instead of him. And even though you know what the pattern's going to be, there are still twists and turns, which, I mean, for an FD movie, it's fun. Like,
yeah. I'm surprised they've lasted this long, though.
I didn't expect another one. It's the right amount of time, though, because 5 was real shit. 4 was meant to be the last one because they knew they'd done their dash. 5 was sort of a soft reboot as it was. And then, this one It's been 14 years since the last one. Just looked up. So
okay,
it's long enough for us to sort of forgive the shit ones.
Yeah, I feel like they could almost do a Final Destination TV show, but do it like Skins, where it's like at the end of the season everyone dies and they get a whole new cast.
They get rebooted. Yeah. I'd be so into that.
It'd be pretty taxing trying to think of creative ways to die, though. Yeah.
I loved the opening of this. I know that you said like the whole back and forth with story and stuff. Yeah, it's kind of weak. But the whole beginning was fucking awesome. It was like 20 minutes, 15 minutes of just like some of the most brutal and interesting deaths. I loved, there's a scene where a guy is trying to get his way into an elevator and then the elevator like drops and he just gets like sliced in half. Like some of the deaths are so perfectly gory. I was super into it.
Yeah.
Super
Even
into
that kid, like that kid who was dropping pennies off and you're oh, crushed. You're so annoying. And then he's like running down the stairs. He just survives. And he gets down there and then like, was it the piano?
Piano lands on him.
Piano came down again.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite deaths. And I wrote in my notes, like, I'm so glad they killed a child. Not because, killing children is fun. Just because shows and movies are so against doing it because like it's taboo in a dumb way.
You're going to get clipped so hard.
Kill children.
Out of context.
Clip that. Kill all the kids.
Out of context, Lawson.
We watched something the other day and I was like, why just kill the fucking kid? Oh, it's different though. That's when we watched Thunderbolts. When that kid died, but they didn't really die. They were brought back. That kid that at the end that was about to be crushed and then they saved, who was it? Oh, the fucking red, whatever he is. Red Guardian. Saved the kid and then the kid gets like deleted by the fucking bad man. But it turns out they weren't being killed. They were just being sent off to a different dimension and they're all saved and whatever. I love the weight of killing a child. It's just, it feels good. And it's so rare that it's like, yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah. I was into this. But you're 100% right. It's too long. Hour and a half would have been fine. I didn't need all the bullshit with Stephanie running around deciphering the book. Her fucking omniscient behavior of being able to decipher this book was just ridiculous. Iris was sort of wasted. Like I feel like she could have been utilized more and I guess I needed Stephanie to be the main character. The cinematography was fucking boring. Like, of course it is. But this was 50 million. Yeah. You look at how much money went into this and you're like, oh man, what? Like the deaths were cool, but where did the rest of the money go?
The special effects.
Yeah.
That's where it all went. I had to.
But yeah, much more to say. It's a Final Destination movie. I would say it is better than 3, 4, and 5. But I still think 1 and 2 are more entertaining.
I haven't seen them recently enough to be able to comment on any of them.
I'm just going by my Letterboxd reviews. And the last time I watched them, I reviewed them all, which would have been like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, I gave this a 3.
Yeah. I'm there.
Yeah. I was nearly a 3.5, but it's the story's fucking lame. Like, I don't fucking care. I was on my phone a little bit, and that's always a pretty good tell of a bit of boring.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. It was just weak story, and it's just creative deaths. I did enjoy the deaths; they were cool.
Yes, and that's what you watch these for. You watch this. You watch all of the movies you watch for the creative deaths. You know, I still can't drive behind a log truck without thinking of FT2.
Yeah, no, it freaks me out still. Even the trucks with cars on them as well.
Yeah. That makes me feel worse. Yeah.
That freaks me out. But let's move on. Let's move on
to our Final Destination.
To our other film that follows almost the exact same story, and you watch these movies for the tournament.
Yep.
So what are we at now? So we've got Karate Kid 1, 2, 3, which follows Danny Russo.
Yeah.
Then we had 4, which was like the new Karate Kid, which
Jaden
was
Smith.
No, there was one before that where it was a female Karate Kid, which was Hilary Swank,
right.
I reckon.
I forget that movie exists.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
And then we got the reboot, which was the same name but was based in China, which should have been Kung Fu Kid instead of Karate Kid. And that's when we had. No, that's when we got the introduction of Mr. Han, which is Jackie Chan.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly, I still quite like that one, even though it's like the exact same story. I still like it.
I don't hate it. I hate Jaden Smith, but there are parts in that are done better than in this. I'll get to that later, but yeah, it's not a bad movie.
So the runtime of the reboot Karate Kid is 2 hours and 20 minutes. The original Karate Kid is 2 hours and 6 minutes. This Karate Kid is 1 hour and 34 minutes.
Yep.
And it suffers for it.
Definitely. It is rushed.
Oh, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So, like all the other Karate Kids, we get a person, but this time it is a trained teenager, I guess, because they're always focused on teenagers. Normally, it's a person who has never trained before. They get into some beef, and then the master feels sorry for them for whatever reason, and then trains them up because they see themselves in the person.
Yep.
We already have a prodigy, a martial arts prodigy.
Yep.
So our prodigy is Li Feng. He's relocating to New York City, so he's coming from Beijing. The main plot, he attracts unwanted attention from a local karate champion and embarks on a journey to enter the ultimate karate competition with the help of Mr. Han and Daniel LaRusso. So he comes because it gets revealed that his brother won a tournament, and then the guy that they beat didn't like it, so they jumped him. His brother got stabbed, and then his mother's like, no more fighting. He froze in that moment, the fight or flight, seeing his brother get stabbed. He froze.
Auntie and uncle got scared and moved into a house in Bel Air. Where the fuck? It's Fresh Prince.
Yep, pretty much. So Lee's mum is a doctor, and they moved to New York. He, for some reason, is going out to get food. He's just like, I'm going to go find food, and wants stuffed crust. He's really into stuffed crust pizzas.
That's a whole fucking thing for some reason. Becomes his name for the rest of the fucking show.
Yeah, like I don't understand that there was no like.
When he starts fighting at the end, they're like, Lee Stuffed Crust Fong. Like everyone else besides the 3 people who get the joke are like, what the fuck is this guy called Stuffed Crust?
Yeah.
Oh, so dumb.
Like all the other ones, it's a fish out of water. They move to a new town.
Yep.
For some reason, they always fall for the girl that the bully or the rival likes for whatever reason.
Yep. Every time.
But in all the other movies, they actually build up the tension with the love interest and also the bully.
Yes.
This was just like he walked past the dojo and was like, you can't train here. Like the girl was like, you can't train here because whatever, like for some reason this guy's he's just
my dad owes him money. Cool.
Yep. And then for some reason the guy is just another prodigy, so that like you've got a karate prodigy and then you've got a kung fu prodigy student. Yep. And for whatever reason, they dislike each other because they like the same girl.
Yep.
Standard, but there's no build-up. There's no like character development for any of them. Where the other ones shine is like Danny LaRusso. You actually felt real bad for him, even though he instigated some of it as well. Like LaRusso was not an innocent bystander just being bullied. Like he baited some of the like retaliation and bits and pieces.
Yeah.
But like this, you're kind of like
even the Jaden Smith one does that. Like it's a little bit racially charged as well. He's like the way that the are they in Hong Kong or Beijing? You're in Beijing, right? I think so, because Mr. Han's from Beijing.
Yeah.
In the way that the Beijing locals and the kids look upon him as an American, he's treated like shit, and you feel like, oh, you know, poor kid, and you start to feel for him. Whereas like they just don't like Li Fong. He calls him Beijing, which I was like, oh, okay, there is a bit of like, you know, it's a little racially charged, but it's not. That's just, I don't want to learn his name, so I'm going to call him where he's from. The same thing if it was, hey, California.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, that's like you say, it's where it misses so much. And even the connection between him and his mum, like her entire character was the Peaky Blinders scene where he's like, no fighting, no fucking fighting. That's her whole character is telling him no fighting. That's it. That's all she fucking says. Yep. There's no moments between them where they're upset about the brother, and a little bit, but not much.
I mean, you got a lot to fit in because you've got a whole side story, which was like, why is this even in here? Like
the boxer story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Lee, for some reason, starts working at Sadie's dad's pizza place. And as they're out the back, these guys are coming to, I don't know, settle a score, get some money back.
Yeah.
And then the dad gets knocked out, and then all of a sudden as he wakes up, he sees Lee fighting off all these guys and was like, oh, you know what? You can fight. You can help me with my boxing. Yeah. Which I was like, oh, okay.
Hey, 16-year-old boy I just met, you want to teach me how to be agile again, even though I'm 40? What?
Yeah, and then there's this whole like the standard, what would you call it, like the montage of them like training. So they're training on the train.
Yeah.
And normally you get the wax on, wax off, like jacket on, jacket off.
Yeah.
But it was
reversed. Such a lame montage.
Like he was training this like past his prime boxer. I was like, I really don't care about this story. I want to see Lee like overcoming his bully and like, you know, entering into the tournament. And this is the weakest tournament I have ever seen.
Yeah, and it's over in like 9 minutes.
Yeah. So most of the movie,
when the tournament started, I looked at the time left on the movie. I was like, is something wrong? Like, am I missing the end of it or something? And nope, it was just really fast.
55 minutes it took for him moving to New York, to the boxing match, the training, to where Mr. Han comes in. He gets introduced around the 50-ish minutes, and then for some reason it's like an assassin in his house and attacks him.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And then he's like, oh, you've got 10 days to train because you're entering this tournament, but I'll be back.
And then he just leaves. Fucks off to California.
And then he's like, to Danny LaRusso, he's like, oh, you gotta come help me. And then next scene, like fade
Miyagi, we're homies. The end.
Yeah. Then fade to black. Here he comes. He comes in, and then they've got the standard, I don't know, two branches, one tree, which is They did a lot of that in Cobra Kai, where it was Danny LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence that were at each other.
Sure.
And then in the 10 days training, it was just like, how do we bait a tiger? And again, like, it was not a good montage where it was like, I did the kick, but he saw it. And then he's trying to like do it against the, what are they called? What are the rotating like things you go into in a
like a turnstile
train station? Yeah. And he's like, you got to get low and slide under. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. Why couldn't they just, I don't know, attach a plunger to a wall or some shit instead of fucking having to do it under a turnstile? Because it's New York, and if it's in New York, you gotta fucking gabagool subway. They're just trying to find ways to make it fit in New York. It's so stupid.
Yeah. And then they enter this tournament, which for some reason he's like a fight a day. Like, it was bizarre.
Yep.
But it was like an Eminem rap battle-esque where they all stand around in the circle on mats, and I was like, this is weird. I was like, there's no build up. Like, at least in Karate Kid, it was like the Valley tournament where it was
Very
like a proper prestigious tournament. Even the reboot Karate Kid or the Kung Fu Kid, like, it was still like a big deal tournament. This was just like,
they said it was a big deal many times. But again, pardon me, show don't tell. Don't keep telling me it's a big deal. Show me it's a big deal. Show me it means a lot. They just put a bunch of posters around and everyone's like, oh my God, you're doing the, what's it called? The something 5, the broad 5, the something, I forget what's fucking even called.
Yeah. So the tournament sucked.
So
even
quick.
like every fight was super quick. And then for some reason we had to get a team up of Danny LaRusso and Mr. Hahn fighting. Like, because we didn't really see that fight of like those guys, they just started fighting. I was like, oh, okay.
Super strange. Some guys wanted to attack Li Fong for some reason, so we see Mr. Hahn and Danny defend him.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Just out of nowhere.
I know, they just needed to give Danny LaRusso another, like, an actual fight scene. Just so the crowd can be like, oh yeah, fucking look, it's Danny. He did nothing. He was so disappointing. Like, he was so underutilized. I wanted him to come in and, like, I would have loved if the tournament started and it was like best 2 out of 3 or something, and Mr. Hahn was training him and was like, oh, we're not quite getting it. Like, I'm training you in Kung Fu, not karate, and blah, blah, blah. And then LaRusso comes in and is like, I can train him karate, and fucking saves the day or something. Like, there's nothing that LaRusso did that Mr. Hahn couldn't do on his own.
No. Like, he didn't even really do anything. Like, they didn't really change his style. The only thing they did was, like, make a counter to the dragon kick.
Yeah.
That was it.
LaRusso was like, that's how we do it, or whatever.
Yeah, that's how do you beat a tiger? You trap it.
Yep.
Yeah, and then we get the big final showdown where it runs the 8-point tournament style. So, 2 points to the head, 1 point to the body. I'm assuming a knockout is 8 points directly.
More or less.
And then we get that back and forth where this one wasn't like a super one-sided affair, like the first couple exchanges. Like, it was, 4-0 or something or other, or 2-0. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they showed like 3 or 4 body connections, but they were only added 2.
I thought the same thing.
I was like, okay.
Do what you want.
Yeah. And then, we got the big savior, the big moment that's going to make him win it. And then the guy attacks him, and then he decides that, no, I'm not going to go to your level, punches the ground on the mat because they're like, no, don't do it. And then they show respect because Lee had beaten his rival. Yeah. And then he couldn't defend himself on the ground. And then the best scene of the movie is right at the end, where we get to see Danny LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence have a little exchange.
Yeah.
Yep. That was by far the best thing about this entire movie. Because that's what those two at each other in Cobra Kai make the show. Like, they're just fun at each other, because Danny LaRusso is like that super, I don't know, uptight, sort of like, no, it has to be this way. We have to honor memory. And Johnny Lawrence is just
loose cannon
out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, it's $1 billion idea. Miyagi Do.
Miyagi Do, get it? Because it's Miyagi and it's Do. Fair.
But everything was so rushed. Everything.
This one was really rushed.
For some reason, they went like almost in any kung fu film, they get that like flying off. Like when they get kicked, they go.
Well, that brings me to my sort of like final point, I guess. And my favorite part were the fucking fight scenes. I looked up whether or not Jackie Chan actually had anything to do with the stunt team. And no, but the director has said he wanted this to feel like an old Jackie Chan kung fu film, and holy fuck does it ever. Like the crane hits, like you say, you get hit, not crane as in like the LaRusso crane, but like getting hit and then you get carried off by the wire tricks, I should say. There's a lot of that. I've always loved in Jackie Chan films, and I'm sure you feel the same way, how his fights, even though they're highly choreographed, they feel like it's just a guy fighting in the environment and grabbing whatever he can find around him and using the environment to his, like, you know, to his benefit and whatever. The fights were great. The scene of Li Fong in the street where he fights all three of them is fucking awesome. It's really sick. The fight choreography is brilliant. I'm so impressed with that, except for the boxing. Boxing was shit. But I really liked the attention to detail and how it felt like an old school Jackie Chan film. I was super into it.
Yeah. Yeah, they just, I don't know what they were thinking. Like, when they got greenlit for it, they were like, okay, you've got an hour and a half.
All right.
Not like,
get out the old paint by numbers. We'll do the exact same story we've done every time.
I mean, they do it every time anyway. But
I'm okay with that.
They just didn't make me feel for the characters.
Not at all.
That was the biggest downfall.
Yeah.
Like, there was no building of like, I want to root for this person. Like, this person needs to overcome, I don't know, adversity, or needs to overcome their trials and tribulations. It was just like, this guy's a prodigy. He's moved in. Here's your story beats.
Yep.
And away we go.
Get rid of the whole boxing thing.
Yeah.
You know, maybe this dad's sick and he can't fight anymore and he needs a way to earn the money or whatever the fuck. Get rid of the whole boxing thing. That's 20 minutes you can lose. Add another 10 minutes so it becomes like, you know, 140, 145. And give me more character connection. Give me more moments between characters where I actually feel for them and I get to know them on a deeper level rather than just what they're there. Like, every character felt like a plot point. They didn't feel like people. They felt like a device. Even
That's true.
LaRusso, which is disappointing.
Yeah.
Mr. Han.
But did I hate it? No. Did I laugh at some things? Yes. And I still had a reasonable time, even though it was like super rushed. I was like, wow, okay, this is over.
Yes.
It was weird. It was a weird experience.
I'm literally trying to figure out whether or not I would rewatch this or the Jaden Smith one again. I honestly think I'd watch this again. I feel like the fight choreography was more interesting in this. And on a rewatch, I don't care about the characters anyway. I think I like this more than that.
I have watched the other Karate Kid quite a few times. I do like it.
Which one?
The Jaden Smith one.
Sure. Yeah, put that on at work a few times because it's a modern movie the kids can get behind.
That's a good one.
But it seems very aimed. Like, I know Karate Kid's always been Rocky for kids.
Yep.
But Karate Kid, like that one, the Jaden Smith one, has always felt very childish. Whereas this felt a little bit more mature, but not quite.
The other ones are pretty brutal, like the original, I want to say original trilogy, because there's a fourth one of that. But like, was it, which one did they go to Japan? 3?
I don't remember.
I feel like it was 3. Like, that one was pretty brutal, where the guy was like ready to kill LaRusso. Like, it was a bit darker.
Is that the one they start this movie with? Is that 3? Remember how at the start of this one, there's like a flashback of LaRusso and Miyagi? I think in Japan.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah. That would have been the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm at like a 3. Like, I'm
literally a 3 as well. Yeah. I know we shit on it this whole time, but the reason we're shitting on it is because we wanted a lot more out of it. Like, Final Destination, it delivered what we expected it to, and therefore it's a 3. But this could have been a lot better, and it was fine, and therefore it's a 3.
Yeah, especially with the trailer when it was like revealed, and it was like Mr. Han and Danny LaRusso, where they were like the universes are colliding. Yes. I was expecting more of like the magic of the other Karate Kids, where they were just like, nope, we're just going to rush your story beats. Here you go.
Yeah. And Jackie Chan felt old. It's sort of sad to see, because growing up, like the era we were in, that was like peak Jackie Chan in Western cinema. You know, we saw so much, and now he's like, he did obviously a bit of fight choreography in this, but it was like very short, like one shot, and then they'd cut away from him so he can get a rest, and then obviously film his next scene later on. But I bet you he's still a fucking perfectionist, and I bet he still made Ben Wang work so fucking hard because it's who he is.
Yeah. Well,
there you go.
At least we enjoyed it. At least we enjoyed both things.
We enjoyed both things. Just one could have been a lot better, and one was about what we expected it to be.
Yeah. At least they were better than Until Dawn. I was expecting better things from that.
I was expecting it to be about what it was.
Oh, really? I was expecting it to be better. I felt like the trailer showed that it was in better hands than what they delivered.
Sure. Yeah. That was pretty lackluster.
Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah, well.
But next week will be Punishment Week.
Yep. Punishment Week.
And if you want to watch along, I am going to get Reimann to watch. It is a pretty artsy movie, and intentionally, I picked something that's a bit more strange that I think is going to make you probably more confused than anything.
Good.
Might give you a little motion sickness, especially the first half hour.
Ugh.
So sorry about that.
It's not Captain and Commander if you guys are playing at home.
It's not what?
Captain and Commander. Russell Crowe one.
Captain and Commander.
Pretty sure it's Captain and Commander. I reckon it was Russell Crowe. He was in a ship
Master and Commander?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, right.
And people had to walk out of the cinema because they got motion
right. No, the beginning of this film is shot in first person, right down to the point where you see them blink and the camera actually shutters.
What is this?
But it's fucking awesome. It's one of those movies that I've made people watch it before, not made, but I've suggested to people before, and they'll come back to me like, holy fuck, that was insane. Yeah, it's a trip. I've never watched it sober, so I'm excited to watch it again with a clear mind and talk about it next week. So it's called Enter the Void. I haven't mentioned it yet. It's called Enter the Void. It's by a French director, Noé. I forget his first name.
We Art.
Gaspar Noé.
Oh, there's no way I'm going to like this.
It's no way. I get it. Argentinian. My apologies. It's not even close.
Right.
He lives in France.
Wow. Okay. Oh, there you go. Sick.
But yeah, it's a fucking trip, and I'm excited to watch it with you and talk shit.
Oh, okay. I'm not super keen.
I know. That's why it's punishment.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know what to do. If you listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, make sure you give a 5-star rating. And then YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And all we ask you to do is tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Whew.
And we'll see you guys next time. Boys.
Love yous.